Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the eSports Report. I'm Chris Puckett, and today we're talking about UMG Dallas, but it's a very special show. This one brought to you by our good friends at Relativity Media and November Man, the new movie coming out this August 27th. Starting on Tuesday, that's tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern, we're going to see a very special November Man Halo Invitational featuring some of the biggest YouTube and Halo talent the world has ever seen. Jehovah's Witness and KYR Speedy taking on Ace and Snipedown, Flamesword and Big Timer, as well as Legion and Gandhi. The 2v2 tournament will be live all day tomorrow right here on MLG.TV starting at 3 p.m. Eastern. Snipedown is one of the players in the Halo tournament, but we also saw him in the Call of Duty event this Saturday. EX, of course, made the run through the open bracket, but a few of the teams that we expected to make it through unscathed had a bit of trouble. Annex is the big one. Annex came in with the #1 seed in that open bracket. Unfortunately, they made it all the way to almost that last round, the second to the last round, where they ran into STD below 0. Annex lost that best of 3, 2 games to 1, and then we saw below 0 go on and play Revenge. Revenge was able to take out Decimate, beating below 0 as well to secure their spot. Going down through the open bracket, we saw, of course, our friends Stunner Gaming lose to Damage. That was a bit of surprise. And the real match that I was excited for, I called it on the bracket show with Benson. Mutiny eSports going up against Noble Black. Noble Black, we said a squad to look out for. It was Noble Black beating Mutiny, then beating Damage, and taking their spot in winners round 1. Here we see Rise Nation, a squad that is #1 in the MLG COD League Season 3. Rise cruised their way into the championship bracket, playing Sinister, dropping just 1 game there, but then defeating Orbit. And at the very bottom of the bracket, here's another match that we were all excited to see. Excellent Gaming coming in with the 6th seed overall. They had to face off against AOX Cinch. We're able to beat that and then beat Carnage, a team that has done numerous online tournaments. We've seen them time and time again pulling off major upsets. It was Excellence Gaming coming out on top. EX with some big moves. So, Will, is the first video ready? Are we ready for that? All right, it's still changing over, guys. We have only half our staff here today, the other half flying back from UMG Dallas. Big shout out to MLG Cyrif as well as Alex Chemo for helping me get this show. It's just a 3-man army today, but let's go ahead and give you the overall. Here's what went down in the tournament as far as standings. If you missed the UMG event, well, you missed some major matchups. Here's how it broke down. Starting off with our #1 seed, this is the graphics results. We have Denial taking the top spot, not #1 seed, excuse me, first place finish. We'll show you how they did it a little bit later. We also have Envy finishing 2nd. A lot of people were hyping them up to win the tournament, including myself, after watching them at Gfinity. Envy looked very strong until they ran up against that Denial team, as we saw Merc, Formal, JCap, and Nameless in another final event. OpTic Nation came in 3rd, with OpTic Gaming coming in 4th. And then we see Most Wanted. A bit of a surprise here, guys. Most Wanted breaking into our top 5. They beat Noble Vanquish for a top 5 spot. Noble Vanquish finishes 6th. Looking at 7th and 8th place, well, it's a 7th place tie for Team Caliber and Curse. Both squads struggled in the winners bracket, were able to do some damage in the losers bracket, especially Curse, with some major moves. But today we're going to be focusing mostly on the winners bracket before showing you the later rounds of the losers bracket. And one match that I actually slept through. I ended up streaming from 3 p.m. to 11 a.m. Saturday night going into Sunday. I missed OpTic Gaming going up against OpTic Nation, but don't worry. Today we're going to watch that match in full. Apparently it was the closest series of the entire weekend, despite it being a 3-0 in favor of OpTic Nation. Well, I think our EX game that we're going to show you versus OpTic Gaming, we'll still show that to you guys a little bit later, but for now we need to skip over it. Let's go ahead. It's ready in 30 seconds, Will? Let's just talk for 30 seconds then. OpTic Gaming had to face off against Excellence. Now, we talked about how Excellence came through this open bracket looking very strong. Keep in mind, OpTic Gaming did not have a great Gfinity, so confidence wasn't super high coming into this event, but Nadeshot, Clayster, Proofy, and Scumpy were undeniably the favored team coming into this match. Excellence, on the other hand, led by one of my good buddies, Snipedown from the Halo scene, have been making moves recently. They've looked very strong at AEL, where they finished top 4 there. They had some nice placements online recently, and Snipedown even filled in for Envy the week before UMG in the COD League. So coming into this match, I knew it was going to be a lot closer than a lot of people thought, and in Game 2, Excellence gave everyone a scare and search and destroy. After a very close domination game where OpTic was able to steal it at the end, we saw EX come out hot in S&D Freight. Let's take a look.
It looks like Diabolic is going to be the sniper over on the hands of EX.
All right, well, let's see what Diabolic's going to do as we jump over to him, and Diabolic, we're going to slap on this Oracle mode. Guys, I read Twitter all the time. One person's enough, I'm kidding. But, of course...
Get on the Oracle mode,
Oracle
Alex!
Mode. How dare you? No, but, of course, here, Oracle mode, great feature here for Search and Destroy. Diabolic pushing up now as he's looking to make some moves. He is going to have a bomb carrier behind him there, so he's just trying to get a peek. Snipedown's going to get that first blood there on Nadeshot. And let's see, actually, because Snipedown is, he's pushed up quite a bit there, and he pays for that one because Proofy gets that headshot on him. And let's see what Diabolic is going to do here with this snipe.
Well, he's trying to get into red control here. Usually like to see a bait and switch, but he's going to be by himself. No, I'm sorry, he does have Facendo with him, so they have 2 pushing in. Facendo will cover him and get Clay. Fantastic job with the bait there by Diabolic. They have a 1-man advantage right now. Proof and Scum, only 2 left up here for OpTic, and we'll see if they're able to pull this one back. Obviously, 2 solid veteran players.
Yep, that's right. Well, let's see here, and I'll jump over to Proofy since the pressure is going to be on him. He's going to get hit markers right through there, but he's not going to be able to do anything as the bomb will go down. Now that timer is going to put the pressure on them. Proofy, of course, the only player on OpTic with a kill presently. And Scump looking to make something happen. Proofy couldn't quite follow through with that one. Scump around the corner. Here she comes, and he gets picked off there. And that's going to be a round 1 win for Excellence, coming out strong on the attacking side.
I think that scuff jump around the corner actually took the prone player out of his sight, so he didn't see Facendo lay in the corner. Great spot by him. Scump was in trouble. Diabolic there as well. Proofy, unfortunately, could not win that gunfight. He lost to that Remington across that mid-track. But like you said, good first round of Diabolic. Facendo able to put 2 up on the board.
Yeah, well, we're going to stick with Scumpy here as, obviously he did not fare too well in that last round there, but there was not a lot he could do in that situation. Of course, bomb carrier will be Proofy, and Facento's going to get that first blood there on Clayster, and this is something that's definitely hurting them, but Scump with that sniper, they're looking to put on a show for you guys. Let's see if he can get some picks, but Snipedown, though, is going to find 1 player. Scump will take out Snipedown, though. That is going to be 2v2 now. Cosmo, Diabolic are going to be up alive as Facento will get picked off. Facento having a great game thus far. Shots going through. And Scump's going to get picked off by Cosmo there with the snipe. Cosmo playing some great Call of Duty right now. Proofy pushing up here. He's going to find 1. Now it's going to lead into a 1v1. Diabolic versus Proofy. Proofy's...
All right, guys, so there's a small issue with that video. Once it's finished completely, we will show it to you a little bit later. Apologies for that. But really what the story was with EX versus OpTic Gaming. Very close Game 1 domination. OpTic gets a lot of momentum. But then in Game 2, you saw Facento open things up with a 3-piece in that round 1. They take round 2. In fact, they go up 4-1. Bomb glitch happens. Refresh. OpTic Gaming, feeding off of that energy, will come back and steal the S&D in round 11, coming all the way back from a 4-1 deficit. So after that, EX, you could just tell they were emotionally defeated, were not able to hang in Blitz. OpTic Gaming moving on to round number 2. In round number 1, though, there was a major upset that a lot of people might not have expected. I called it, though, on the bracket show. And that was not TK. This was Noble Vanquish going up against Curse Gaming. Now, Curse, we talked about Gfinity. They didn't have Tipsy. We talked a little bit about Anaheim. Curse was very inconsistent. They looked hot. They looked not. They ended in our top 4, but Enabled, Tipsy, Mochila, and Burnsoff had a lot of eyes on them coming into this UMG event. And in that first round, they straight up struggled. They lost 3-0 in their first matchup. Here's a look what happened. 169 to 122. Noble Vanquish able to pull off the upset and domination. From there, they didn't slow down. S&D a 6-2. Game number 3, an 11-point blowout as Noble Vanquish, the squad that was once Elevate for Season 3, totally new roster here, Slasher and the boys coming alive, and Sender got pumped up. So Noble Vanquish able to take down Curse. That set up a match against Team Caliber in round 2. We'll get to that a little bit later. But the other match that was going down in round 2 that had a lot of people talking was Denial versus OpTic Gaming. So coming off the match against Excellence, OpTic Gaming, well, they were going to have their hands full with Denial. In game number 1, it was 136 to 169 in favor of Denial. Game 2, though, was Search and Destroy. OpTic looking for a comeback. Let's take a look. 6-3, that video's not ready. And game number 3, OpTic steals the Blitz 6-4. So Denial up 2-1. We do have game number 4 available for you guys. This was a very exciting strike zone. Take a look at Denial. They remind me a lot of this squad that we saw at the U.S. Championships. Talking about FaZe Black, then Strictly Business. But Denial, you got Study, you got Replays, you got Saints, and all 3 of these guys were going off. Here's a look at what happened in that strike zone dom, 174 to just 131.
So at this point, OpTic Gaming is going to need something here. They're going to need a 3 cap at the very least.
We've seen it before.
Yeah, we've seen it before. And now I don't know what the crowd is chanting.
I don't know.
I've given up hope on this guy,
these
guys. But all right, well, let's see. Here is Scump looking to find one. Not going to be the case there either. Nate shot 24 and 21 right now. Claser 22 and 28.
They got to push out of here together. They got to try and make something happen.
I don't think that's going to be the case here, X. I think that this is leaving OpTic's hands very, very quickly here. I could be wrong, but
yeah, I mean, it is pretty much, mathematically over at this point, I believe. But right here on this map, what kind of went wrong? I mean, you needed Proof. You pick up the slaying department. If Scum's going to have a bad game, you really need a good game from Proof. You can't. Not going to get by in strike zone dom map where there's so many interactions. I mean, look, Study's 32 and 25.
Study dropping a 30 bomb.
Right? I mean, Nate had a very good game. Clay, I mean, he slayed. I really don't look too much at Des on this map, right? As long as you're putting up kills, I really don't consider Des too much of an option on this map. I mean, you're going to die a lot on this map. That's just how it's played. But right there, you're just going to need a little bit more slaying.
And that's going to do it, ladies and gentlemen. Denial will take this series with a score of 3-1. Replay, Study, Zuma, as well as Saints. Showing up big time here against OpTic Gaming, but of course, OpTic not out of it.
So one of the biggest shockers happening in just round number 2, of course, Noble Vanquish, the story of round 1. But round 2, this story was all about Denial. They beat them by 33 points in domination number 1. S&D doubling up 6-3. And then game 4, Denial shutting it down. The captain Zuma dropping 32 kills and surrounding himself with some incredible SMG talent. They beat OpTic by 43 points on Strike Zone. That is a huge lead on Strike Zone. One of the hardest maps to control, 2, if not the 3 cap. So Denial, with all the momentum in the world, was looking forward to seeing what would happen in their next matchup. And later we'll talk about what went down when Denial played Envy. Guys, we're going to a quick commercial break. When we come back, we have all the details from the Winners Bracket Finals.